Welcome to Short Scale Modelling. This is part 19 of the Hachette HMS Hood 1 to 200 scale build. In part 18, I was finishing off putting some platforms together. I'm going to be doing pretty much the same in part 19, working on more platforms and start building some ladders as well. So let's jump into this. So I'm kicking off with issue 128, and this is a new platform that I'm working on. A lot of these photo sprues and parts now will be coming not only from the issue but from previous issues. So if you don't see it there when I'm showing you what issue number I'm on, don't worry, because it's from a previous issue. So as you can see here, I'm into the painting stage, and for the side arms of this platform I used Revel Aquacolor 74 Gunship Grey, and for the main unit it's 88 Ochre Brown to begin with. I then went on to Life Colour LPW18 Wood Deck Darkener, and as I said in my previous video, I use this pigment more as a wash than a paint. They are for airbrushing, but I think they work perfectly well as washes as well. So this is going to give me the wooden effect that I'm after. I'm just streaking it down the part. Not only does it obviously darken the ochre colour, because I'm streaking it down, it gives that sort of planked wood effect. This unit has railings going all the way around it. So first of all, I'm placing on the solid safety barrier first of all. This has to be bent slightly at the end towards going to a straight angle. I pre-bent these originally just to see where I was going to be putting the paint. As you can see, with the angle of the paint, it's not straight with the model sloping upwards. This is due to the actual wall itself going in. The remainder railings are the normal railings. I'm using my drill bit here just to curve the area that it needs to be curved in. So wherever you see a curved part that's got a railing on it, I'm using my drill bit just to curve it. It just so happened it was the perfect curve shape for this particular part of the build. So that worked out quite well. Once I was happy everything was in place, I used some white glue to secure them. And I carried that all the way around the actual part itself until the end. It took quite a bit of time to do it, but it was quite effective once it was done, now that the railings are all on. Issue 129 is another build for a base unit. The wooden parts will all be used in a different issue. The parts I'll be using for this are from a previous issue. So this appeared to be a straightforward build until I put the side panels in, and they just did not fit. There's a massive overhang on them, which obviously creates a gap. So these had to be filed down to size. It was about a millimetre and a half out on both sides. Once it was sanded down, it just fitted into place quite snugly. But the point is, yet again, there was another part that just was not engineered too well. There was a lot of work involved just getting the area to fit. On this issue, there was more winches to be made up, as well as a couple of little boxes. I don't know what they're for. They may be compartments or just ammo boxes, something like that. I'm not 100% sure. Moving on to issue 130, and there's more little platforms and base units having to be made up. There's two base units here to be made. Again, like the little boxes that I said in previous issues, these are overly engineered. There's a lot of small parts involved making up, which is essentially a box with a couple of support brackets. It didn't have to be that engineered. I suppose they did it to make more money out of each issue. But they did go together well. Essentially, I'm just putting in slot A into slot B, nothing major going on. And that's the first one made up. So on to the second one. It's pretty much the same concept of the first one, although obviously it is a little bit different. But there's two side panels and a front and rear panel, I should say, and two side panels to make up the main structure. And then there's just a couple of little bracket holding pieces that have to be placed in. Issue 131 is making up some ladders. This is quite a big issue, but the majority of this issue is for the radio controlled version. So half the issue I won't be doing. A lot of the parts for this issue is coming from previous issues also. So I'm going to be starting from there where you see the ladders. The majority of these ladders are painted in 43 medium grey by Revel Aquacolor. As you can see, I'm painting on the sprue initially. A couple of the steps are getting painted in 82 Dark Earth by Revel Aquacolor. Why some of them are a sort of wooden colour, I'm not too sure, but that's what they're calling for. I can always change it later on if I think it doesn't look right. To build these ladders, there's multiple foot-edge parts going on. Some of them do have to be bent into position, so I'm using my bending tool here, and these are for the top platforms that I'm bending into shape. So you have the bottom foot plate, and then the two handrails get bent up into the upright position. There are left and right to these ladders as well. So when I was putting on the platforms, I had to make sure that I was getting them facing the correct direction. So how I went about building these is fairly simple. I placed on tiny amounts of white glue and then built onto that part and just worked my way around each ladder. So first of all went on the runs of the ladder. It's a good place to start because it gives you a good guiding position to get them sorted. If, for instance, one of them does have a platform, which the next set do, you really have to get these handrails in alignment before you can place on the handrail, which I'm just doing at the moment. And of course, that is the trickiest part of building these ladders, was putting on the top platform so that the handrails would meet the top safety rails of the platform. The angle and shape of the plate reflects on the left or right position, but it does make it difficult to line up. As you can see there, I was having some problems getting it in position, but once I figured it out, it went fairly straightforward after that. And once the platform was on, I was then able just about build around it to complete the ladder. So I'm just building up the last of the ladders now, and I'll end the video here before I go on to the next issue. The ladders went surprisingly okay. I thought I was going to have difficulty with them because of the previous problems I faced with the photo etch, but they turned out to be okay. If you haven't done so already, why don't you check out the channel for my other builds, including what I've done up to this point on this build. If you subscribe to the channel, you'll be notified of any future builds, including the videos for this current build that I'm doing. Hit that like button, and of course leave a comment. But for now, thank you all very much for watching. Bye bye.